Hi everyone, I am Sir Junel, your science teacher for today. But before we start our lesson, please subscribe Maestro Travel Blog. Living things constantly interact with their environment. Each kind of environment is made up of biotic and abiotic components. Biotic means living things. For example, animals, plants, and humans. Abiotic means non-living things. These are air, space, sun, and water. In this lesson, you will be able to describe the effect of the environment on the life cycle of organisms. Here's an illustration that shows the interaction between the environment and living organisms. Air is made up of essential gases that living things need to endure. This includes oxygen and carbon dioxide. Plants, animals, and humans breathe the air around. Breathing is a part of process called respiration. Living things take in oxygen from the air and gives out carbon dioxide. Air in the atmosphere is a mixture of different gases that we cannot see but we can feel. It is made up of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and small amount of carbon dioxide, neon, and hydrogen. Common pollutants in the air are carbon monoxide, which comes from burning of gasoline by cars. Number 2, nitrogen oxide, which comes from burning of diesel fuel by vehicles, coal and oil by factories and electric power plants. Number 3, sulfur dioxide, which comes from burning of coals by power plants to produce electricity. If the air becomes polluted, it will be hard for living organisms to grow and reproduce. Exposure to polluted air will cause coughing, asthma, and lung disease among humans and animals. Air pollutants decrease the ability of plants to make food through photosynthesis. This causes to slow down the growth of plants and decrease harvest for crops and fruit trees. A mixture of air pollutants and fog produces a smog, which makes the air difficult to breathe. It is not healthy for plants and animals. Air pollutant combined with water will produce acid rain. Acid rain can damage the leaves of the plants and skin of animals. It can pollute the water in lakes, river, and seas, and harm the animals living in the water. Space. Living things need space to live and breathe. Overcrowding, especially in animals, can result in stress and distress. Plants, animals, and humans needs enough space in order to survive and multiply. When there are too many organisms in a given space, overcrowding occurs. Lack of enough space will result to the following.
First, lack of food. When there are too many of the same kind of animals or plants competing for one food source. Second, disease. Overcrowding spread diseases faster. This is a picture of India, part of Asia, one of the most populous country in the world.
Water. Water is a medium in which all our cells' biochemical activity occurs. Water may be consumed by a living thing or may be a habitat for them. Animals and humans need fresh water for our organs to function. Water makes our bodies absorb vitamins and minerals from food we eat. Water also provides a home for aquatic plants and animals. It also provides a breeding ground for a temporary home for animals who spend part of their lives in water, like frogs and some insects. Humans are the biggest consumers of water on Earth. We use water for drinking, cooking, washing, and cleaning. Only 2% of the water on Earth is fresh water, while salt water makes 97.5%. Protecting our environment is important to keep the sources of our water pure. Water conservation means using our water supply wisely and avoid polluting it. The sun. The sun is the source of all heat, energy, and light. All plants use sunlight to make food in a process called photosynthesis. Plants store food in their leaves and in their fruits. The energy stored in the plants flows or is transferred to the animals that eat these plants. Sun is very important in the ecosystem. All living things depend on sun in order to survive. Our environment plays an important role to all living organisms. It is where organisms get their food, water, shelter, and other needed materials for them to carry out their life processes. It is impossible for the organisms to live without the environment. Hence, when the environment changes, some plants and animals are affected in terms of their survival and reproduction. Others die or move to other locations. So, all organisms cause changes in the environment where they live. Some of these changes are harmful to the organisms or other organisms. A habitat is a place where an organism makes its home. Some examples of the habitats are the forest, farm, wetlands, oceans, freshwater, and desert. A habitat meets all the environmental conditions an organism needs to survive. The main components of a habitat are shelter, water, food, and space. A habitat is said to have a sustainable arrangement when it has the correct amount of all of this. The environmental factors affecting the life cycle of organisms are as follows: food, water, shelter, and space. Each factor affects in the life cycle of the organisms. Food is the environmental factor needed by all organisms. They use it to get the energy and perform life processes. Food is also needed for the organism's growth and development of the body. Living organisms need water to survive. Other organisms require water to break down food molecules or generate energy during the respiration process. Water also helps many organisms regulate metabolism and dissolves compounds going into or out of the body. An organism's shelter protects it from other animals and extreme weather. Shelter also provides space for eating, sleeping, hunting, and raising a family. A single tree, for example, can provide sheltered habitats for many different organisms. Organisms need a living space or enough area for them to obtain resources like food, water, and oxygen. It is also an area where they can express their physical and social behaviors.
Hello class, we are done. So please answer all the activities in your modules. See you again next time.
Hello students! I hope nag-enjoy kayo sa ating leksyon ngayong araw. And I am hoping next time magsasama pa rin tayo. Paalam!
Have you wondered why the sky is blue? Why the flowers are in different colors of you? Have you wondered why the sun is hot and why it's speckled with Neptune's great dark spot? All you have to do is open your eyes and let your mind and imagination fly. Because it's all about science. Explore the world through science. Go out and learn the steps of science. Science. Have you